Hey everyone, it's me Donna. I'm making another DNA video. This video it's another idea that I have for some of these DNA companies out there. Um, and of course, as I have stated before, I think some of them need to go back to where they were digging a little deeper into people's DNA, looking at the smaller pieces and adding them to their DNA reports. Even though some use the excuse of, well, when we start looking at pieces that are smaller than 6 centimorgans, then we start running into false cousin kinships and all that stuff. Well, the thing is, they can look at things like SMPs and other little things that is basically like fingerprints within your DNA that link you up, you and other people up to a common ancestor. In other words, when our bodies reproduce itself, like your cells and all that stuff, well, eventually it will start making mistakes. And especially when you're doing replications, like when you're generating, shall I say, future offspring within your body and all that stuff, well, those potential offspring will have pieces of like SMPs and whatever else it is that's within a strip of DNA that will be, if there's more offspring created and on down the line, whether it's just from that one offspring or siblings of that offspring, there will be certain things within that strip that will be like a fingerprint. And later on down the road, when you have descendants, they can check. When they do the DNA, companies can take their DNA and look at those strips and see those skips and whatever else it is, little things, markings, I should say, that's a better word for it, markings within the DNA itself that line up. When they compare the two pieces, or 3 or 4 or however many, when they put them all side by side, and compare them, or linear, or however you want to call it, and they can look at similar markings that are within the same spot. So think about it. What are the odds that you have a piece of DNA that's on the same spot of your chromosomes, okay, that has the same markings as someone else without you being kin? Like, the odds of that are very, very small. Now, you might have a same piece or similar piece of DNA, say from a particular ethnicity group, okay? Because that's what it boils down to, is pieces of ethnicity groups within your DNA, okay? Let's just say British, for instance. Okay, you may have a common strip of British DNA that you share with thousands and millions and whatever people out there who come from England, or who had ancestors that came from England, that would match up. But the odds of you having certain markings within your DNA in the same spot, on the same strip, okay, on the same piece of a chromosome, in the exact same spot, are like very, very low, okay? So that little excuse is ridiculous at this point, because, the science is there for them to pinpoint your kinship, and they know they can go that deep. It ain't no problem for these companies to look that deep into your DNA. It's not that hard, and therefore that reduces the odds of a false kinship, and they know that. But they're still trying to spill that bull out to the public so that they can save money, and all that mess. And I just think that it's ridiculous, because they don't want to use up their database space and all that. Well, my solution is, why don't you just charge, after you give people their DNA tests and all that stuff, okay, then maybe charge them an extra fee if they want to look deeper, okay, and then make their connections up with their distant cousins, say from because I know, like, say for instance, on Ancestry DNA, they only go back to the fifth great grandparent, which actually is less than that because they don't even include strips that would truly link you up to your fifth great grandparent. You're lucky if the strips that they use, which are not smaller than like 8 centimorgans, okay, most of the time they don't even go down to 6 centimorgans, okay, but 6 is like a safe thing for me to say for the average company, okay, but if they're not looking, I mean, you may have so many strips that are 8 centimorgans long that connect you up to these other companies. That's how they're even able to connect you up to your fifth great grandparent through that through lines feature, is because, you know, like your tree and then your DNA too, and your cousins and everything, is because y'all share at least one strip or more that's 8 centimorgans long. Okay, therefore they're able to link you up. Okay, but there's several little tiny little pieces that would connect you up to that ancestor as well, and also other ethnicity groups possibly, that they're not even included. They're not even bothering to count that. Okay, so that's how that's being done. Okay, all right. So why don't they just charge a little bit of an extra fee that will cover their cost for their database space and all that, and also make them a little bit of a profit that would connect people up to, you know, on further back, like, you know, 6th and 7th and, you know, 10th great grandparent. It would be cool if they would at least go back to your 10th great grandparent. That would be totally awesome. Okay, and they can do that. They can go back way further than that. But I'm just saying, as a starting point. Okay, go back to that 10th great grandparent, and then on the side they could also have the feature that gives you the ancient stuff, just like other companies. Because if these other companies out there can do that, if another company can take you back 2,000 and 4,000 years ago, and maybe further, then I know that, you know, these companies can. Okay, so, you know, but even if they just want to link you up to the 10th great grandparent, that would be so awesome. That would help a lot of people out with their trees. And it might, for instance, if you are on a false relative, it might help you fix that and link you up with the proper relative based upon other people's trees and their DNA, and the suggestion thing on Ancestor DNA. Then you can find a better relative that might be actually your ancestor. Okay, so I just think that would help a lot of people. Okay, and like I said, all they got to do is charge an extra one-time fee, and bada bing bada boom. Which I know them, though, they love to add things onto the subscription thing, so that's probably what they'll end up doing. But anyway, my gripe in this video is not necessarily that, but I do have to explain that to get down to what some suggestions that I have that I think would be cool that could be added to this feature. And that would be an AI generated ancestor. For instance, in this example, I created a third great grandparent. Okay, and what I did was, and I used 23andMe's DNA browser to give an example, where you can compare, you know, your common cousins and aunts and uncles and all that stuff. You can compare DNA relatives. Let's put it that way. You can compare yourself to DNA relatives and all that, and show where you're kin to so and so, and so on and so forth. Okay, well, they could use something like that to create an AI generated ancestor, and use the sources that they get that link up to one person. Like, you take it one person at a time. Okay, and if you think about it, okay, if you got 20 cousins over here, 25, 30, whatever cousins, that all link you up to an ancestor. Okay, and the things have gotten to where they can take the different pieces in strips, and it's like a puzzle, and just piece together a person, even if they only have so many participants and so much, like say 55% of DNA pieces that they can use. Well, they can still piece together someone and then fill in the rest of the gaps with their AI programs, which wouldn't be hard, and kind of like do guesswork, okay? And just let the public know that's what this is. I mean, this is not 100%, but this is, as of at this particular point, this is a representation of your ancestor, okay, at a certain level, say like first great grandparent, third, fourth, whatever, okay, and they can use pieces of DNA that link you all up, that all of you share to this one person, okay, that the computer system knows it only goes to this one source. Okay, so see, and even on Ancestry DNA, if you'll notice, they can break apart what you got from your mother, parent 1, and what you got from your father, parent 2. Okay, they're already breaking that down for you. Well, they can go a little bit further and break down you and someone else and someone else and someone else that you're kin to, and find where you have those common strips. And like I said, it will piece together this person, this ancestor, okay, and just give you the information that they have based upon how many sources that that it's coming from, you and all your cousins and aunts and uncles and whatever, okay, and like I said, what the computer program is filling in itself. And then every so often they update it, especially if you're getting more cousins and whatever added to this thing who participate, and it can be based on participation. Like when you, if you're just taking a test, then you can be asked if you want to participate, and if you're already on the system, then they can just you can see a pop-up that asks you if you want to participate and all that, and you can do that, okay? So anyway, everyone that participates, then it can link all that up, and it can explain to you what it believes, an AI generation of what this person is made up of, therefore giving them a good idea of the skin tone and hair and hair color, because now they can break down different things of hair color based upon genes and all that stuff, okay? Eye color, and just say like, this is the probability that this person has brown hair and blue eyes and blah blah blah. They can do that, okay? But also the participants can also add images if they so choose. Like they can add pictures of themselves, and pictures of this ancestor or an ancestor down from this person that they know come from this person, okay? And then the computer can take that information and the DNA and all that good stuff and combine it together, and it can create an AI generated image of this person. And also it can ask you a questionnaire as to your height, your weight, your hair color, your eye color, all that type of thing. They can do that, and they can generate all this information and kind of figure out where this stuff might have come from, and then generate a size for this person. If that makes any sense to people out there. I may be throwing too much at people, and if I am, I'm sorry. But I think this would be a really cool feature that could be added, and people can kind of look at it, and especially people that actually have other family members or whatever, they can compare what this computer system has come up with, and then what they images that they actually have of this person and what they know about this ancestor, and see how correct the system is as compared to reality. And even like ethnicity and all that stuff, based upon what they know. But still, of course, it needs to be made clear to the public that that they're only such and such percentage sure to start with that this is the case, and then let them know that what percentages are from the participants, and what percentage is going through the AI system. How much is being filled in, just based upon that. Okay, and as long as everything's made pretty clear, I think most of the public will get it that, hey, this is not 100%, and hopefully people won't be complaining and all this mess, because like I said, it's just something to get an idea, a general idea, and maybe to help people out or whatever. It would be kind of cool. Maybe you could figure out, where your British comes from and Irish comes from and all that stuff. This might be of some help, in some way. But again, not 100%, but it would just be something fun, I think, that people could enjoy, participating in. But that's just my opinion, but it's something that I came up with that has been stewing, and most people who have watched my other videos, pretty much know, how this stuff has been brewing in my head and all that. So it would be no surprise to them. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.